Your brain has a command it simply cannot process. A single instruction that breaks the entire system. And that command is, don't think about it. Think about that for a second. The moment I say, don't think about a pink elephant, what's the first thing that pops into your head? It's a giant, floppy-eared pink elephant, right? Trying to force a negative thought out of your mind is exactly like that, but worse. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The very act of trying, the effort you put in, becomes the fuel. The more you fight it, the more you struggle against it, the more power you give it. It digs its claws in deeper, burning itself into your very identity. But what if I told you there's a way to make that negative thought vanish? Not by using force, but through a clever trick of logic. A single, elegant move that doesn't fight the thought at all. Instead, it disintegrates it from the inside out. See, your brain is a thought generator, not a truth deliverer. It's its job to constantly produce hypotheses, guesses, and worst-case scenarios. It's a creative machine, but most of what it creates is just noise, useless static. The problem isn't the negative thought itself. The real problem is the silent, instantaneous process that happens right after it appears. You fuse with it. You mistake a random generated thought for a revealed truth about reality. The thought, I might be a fraud, instantly becomes, I am a fraud. The thought, I could fail, becomes, I am a failure. Suddenly, you're not just trying to delete a fleeting thought. You're trying to perform surgery on yourself, to separate a parasite that is fused with your very sense of self. And surgery requires a precise tool, not a sledgehammer. So here is the protocol. It works not by deletion, but by diffusion. You don't kill the thought. You simply revoke its citizenship in the country of your mind. Step 1 is the labeling hack. This is all about creating distance. The moment that negative thought pops up, you don't engage with its content. You don't argue with it. You immediately label its type. You say to yourself, that's a catastrophizing thought, or, interesting. There's a past failure projection thought, or maybe, okay, that's an imposter syndrome thought. Notice what just happened. You are no longer the victim of the thought. You've become a scientist, calmly classifying a specimen under a microscope. This simple act of labeling creates immediate psychological distance. The thought is no longer you. It's just a temporary object passing through your field of observation. It's an event, not an identity. Step 2 is the, and then what, loop. Now, from this new position of distance, you can engage with the thought but not to argue. You engage with a kind of bored curiosity. You interrogate it. The thought says, you're going to completely embarrass yourself in that meeting tomorrow. Instead of panicking, you calmly ask, okay, and then what? The thought might reply, well, I'll look incompetent. You ask again, and then what? People will lose respect for me. And then what? I guess I'd feel bad for a day, maybe 2. And then we'd have the next meeting, and the next project, and life would go on. You follow the fear all the way down its rabbit hole, until you reach its actual, non-lethal conclusion. And you'll discover that it almost never ends with total ruin or social exile. It usually ends with a temporary, manageable feeling. You've just drained all the drama from the prophecy. You've exposed the monster in the closet as nothing more than a coat hanging on a hook. Now, for step 3, the worst-case upgrade. This is the final, disarming move. You accept the thought's worst-case scenario, and then you build a simple, almost trivial plan for it. The thought screams, I'll fail this massive project, and I'm going to get fired. Your response, said calmly to yourself, is, that is a possibility. If I get fired, my plan is to update my resume on Tuesday, and call 3 former colleagues on Wednesday to see what's out there. Now, what's the very first, tiny step I can take on this project right now, to try and prevent that from happening? Do you see what you've just done? You've accomplished the impossible. You've made the terrifying thought boring. It's no longer a monster under the bed. It's a logistical footnote you've already planned for. It's an item on a to-do list. And a thought that has been stripped of its emotional power is just a collection of words. It will wither and leave, looking for a more reactive host to feed on. This 3-step protocol works because it fundamentally changes your relationship with your own mind. You stop being the panicked user clicking on every scary pop-up ad that your brain generates. You become the calm system administrator. You don't try to shut down the program that just causes system errors. You don't blindly obey its commands. That's how you give it malware privileges. You simply minimize the window and reallocate its processing power to something more useful. The thought might still be running in the background. You might still be aware of it, but it no longer controls the cursor. It no longer dictates your actions. It's just a background process consuming negligible resources until eventually it times out and closes itself. When you master this, something profound starts to happen. Your internal world begins to feel a lot more like the external world. A negative thought becomes like a cloud in the sky. You notice it. You might even name it. Ah, that looks like a thick imposter syndrome cumulonimbus over there. But you understand its true nature. It's temporary. It's impersonal, and it is not a command. You don't have to fight to clear the sky. You just have to remember that you are the sky, not the weather that's just passing through. You achieve not a thought-free mind. That's an impossible goal. You achieve a thought-proof identity. The content of your thoughts becomes irrelevant. Your reaction to them, calm, curious, administrative, is the only thing that defines you. So stop trying to delete the sentence your brain writes. You can't, but you can change its authority. You can start changing the font to something ridiculous like Comic Sans. You can start adding absurd little footnotes to it. You can file it away in a mental folder labeled unverified data or junk mail. Remember, a thought has absolutely no power except the power you grant it through your belief and your fear. Take those two things away, and you haven't just deleted it. You've done something far better. You've made it permanently and utterly irrelevant. Thank you so much for watching. If this helped you, consider subscribing for more ways to understand and upgrade your own mind. See you in the next one.